Thanks for tuning in. I have some updates in addition to just the interviews we're doing on the podcast. So I wrote down a bunch of things to give updates on today. So we have a wholesale we put on the market. Clearly, I was going to an investor. I think I may have mentioned that before. We got that one in contract. It was a concrete block home. So we bought that one for 45,000. Spent about $1,000 cleaning it up, doing all that, and put it on the market. So we got that in contract within a couple days. That was great. I think we priced it really well. Delaney from Yellowbird listed that for us. So she said the phones are ringing off the hook. So we got tons of offers on it. We took one. It's not done till it's done. They're using hard money, so it's got to get approved. But inspection period's over, and they're moving forward for now at 85. Decent rental property there. I just want to infuse some cash into the business now. Doing some other stuff that's been working. I think last week I talked a little bit about how important speed to lead is in this business for people who aren't in real estate or not in sales, from how a lead comes in, how quickly you call it. So we were way too high before. What I started doing is we have a morning stoplight report that I go over with my acquisitions team. So stoplight meaning if they don't hit the metric, it's red. If they meet the metric, it's yellow. And if they exceed the metric, it's green. So that's why we call it the stoplight report. It's a little fun thing. But when we want to focus on something that's an area for improvement, I bring it on to that morning report so it's constantly top of mind. We added that on there. Now all the new leads, they get posted in Slack, which they did before. The guys go, they hit a checkbox in Slack and they double call them right away. And the last week we went from about an hour and a half to lead in the beginning of the week on average. And we're only counting these for hot or warm leads that come in during business hours. They come in at 10 o'clock at night. I'm not holding the guys to that. And we went from, I think, an hour and a half in the beginning of the week down to 5 minutes Wednesday, 6 or 7 minutes Thursday, and 11 minutes on Friday. Our target's 10 minutes or less. So that's been working. We get in touch with a lot more people that way by calling them immediately when the lead comes in. Other stuff we've been doing that's really moved the needle in the last week. We've actually had a lot going on. We did get a contract late last week. It's a weird deal with a tenant that's needs to be evicted and maybe a probate needs to be done, a lot of back taxes. So we'll see if that's going to go through. We told the seller we'd have to figure all that stuff out, but I should make a decision on that by Wednesday once I get some more insight into that. And the other thing that's been working for us over the weekend, I was like, we have a lot of leads in our system, so we do a lot of outbound marketing, cold calling, texting, all that stuff. And our acquisitions guys, they don't have time to get to all the leads that are older, 30-day plus stuff. The way our system works is it comes in, they try to qualify it, put it through our qualification process. And obviously the people who are qualified get followed up with. And the people who aren't, they get called for about 30 days. But at a certain point, acquisitions guys just don't have the capacity to keep calling past that. So what we did is we took all the leads that were 30 plus days old and we threw them in a cold calling campaign and had the cold calling team call them and try to live transfer them over to acquisitions. We launched that this morning and we had 10 live transfers this morning. Put it in perspective with right now we're only down to 2 callers because we're trying to hire some more people. But typically on any given day, that's 1 live transfer per caller. So we got about 5 each in just the morning time. So they're going to hit that list every morning. Those people have already expressed some kind of interest, even though it was 30 plus days ago. So my theory is let's upload that list every week. Let's see if we can move them either live transfer to our acquisitions team. And even if it's not live transfer, it'll get moved to the top of the acquisitions queue as a priority. So that's something that is working for us. Work the leads in our system that have already been there instead of just trying to generate more new ones. We got a lot of gold probably sitting in there. Other things that we've done, we've really tuned in our hiring process around cold callers. It was good before, but there was a lot of manual steps that our admin team had to take, and we were getting people interested. But hiring has become more complicated with emails going to spam. Now you got to kind of text people to get them to check their email. They don't check their email as much, or your email goes to the promotions folder in Gmail. We built a pretty cool system in our CRM last week. And what that does is people, and these are international people, they automatically get invited to Spark Hire, our hiring platform. They automatically get a text and an email telling them to do Spark Hire and PI. And PI's predictive index, which we check for personality types. And they get the text reminds them to check their email too and gives them the link in case they didn't get it. And then it follows up with them the next day automatically if they haven't done those things and says, hey, we're going to be reviewing applications tomorrow. It's made a huge difference. We're just cruising people right through the pipeline. And then if they do one of the steps but not the other, let's say they take predictive index and they score 7 out of 10, which is a pass for us, but they don't do Spark Hire, they'll get a text and an email saying, hey, we really like your predictive index. We haven't got your Spark Hire. It's the one thing that we need to do to move you to the next step, or vice versa. So that's been working really well, automating a lot of stuff for the team. Just simple follow-ups, right? That hiring is a sales process is how I look at it. So we've really honed that in, and now the majority of it's automated. Before we were doing it, they were manually texting people, a lot of copy, paste, mail merges, and just time consuming and stuff was getting lost. So we really tuned that in. One thing we've been focusing a lot on in the last week is what I call leaky buckets. I didn't invent that term. There's a book called Your Business is a Leaky Bucket, and a few people told me about it. You're just going in and seeing like where's the falling through the cracks. We went into our cold calling system the other day and we realized when some cold callers either let them go or they quit, we forgot to transfer their whole follow-up campaign. So people they talked to and we're going to sell in 6 months, we forgot to transfer those to about 350 of them to the current reps. So those things that are like silly mistakes that you overlook in the day-to-day operations, we just tripled our amount of follow-ups by going and assigning those to our current callers. So just going through, see where are we not optimizing. I'm going through the leads more, just seeing, hey, how many times we call this lead? Why didn't it get called? Why didn't it get thrown into an automation? We built out some SMS drift campaigns for new leads that come in the system. So really just trying to plug all the holes in the leaky bucket that we can. And we're also, we tried that power hour last week that I mentioned, having everyone on the team call. We had a couple technical errors, but we did get it off the ground. And this week we're trying it again. Every single person on our team is going to be calling for an hour, 3 days a week at the same time. The way we decided after seeing how it was last time to make it more fun, more of a team building exercise, and also more effective is we're going to go on a video call. It's going to break out into 3 breakout rooms. Each breakout room is going to be led by an acquisitions person. So I'll be in one. My 2 acquisitions guys, Alex and Jay, they're going to be in another. And they'll each have 2 to 3 team members in there with them. It makes it more fun. We had 10 people on a call and no one can talk because there's always someone on a call. So with 2 to 3 people in a room, like sometimes you downtime, you can joke around. So it's a team building activity. But also if someone gets a hot lead, they have an acquisitions guy right there. That they say, hey, I got one. Right? Hey, what do I do with this? So again, just speed to lead, keeping things moving quick. We made a lot of progress last week. Friday podcast is coming up. My friend Al Nicoletti, who's a probate attorney in Florida, most people know. That should be awesome. I was actually on the phone with him earlier about that deal from last week that I mentioned. So yeah, everyone tune in Friday to the podcast, and thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm going to keep doing this every week and just share what's going on in our business. November wasn't good for us. October was. We got a couple closings the next few weeks from stuff in October, but we are hitting the ground hard. We're grinding. We're turning over every rock we can to really crush December. My main goal for December is I want to run 36 appointments. We went back and looked at our data. 6 appointments set equals a contract. Our contract closing ratio is like 85%, something like that, 87%, title issues, whatever other stuff comes up. So my goal is 36 appointments, no matter how I have to get them. And if I get 36 appointments, I'm confident that I can get 6 contracts. And then if I get 6 contracts, 5 or 6 will close based on our data. So I'm really pushing hard. If anyone's got any ideas, who's crushing appointments here, I'm open to it, but really just trying to put in that work to hit the number of appointments we need to make the company successful and the acquisitions guys successful. Keep you posted on how that stuff goes, guys. And check in next week.